A long-standing tradition in Halo games is the return of fan-favorite Halo maps from entries past. Halo 2 started this trend almost immediately with maps like Beaver Creek, the remake of Battle Creek, Coagulation, the remake of Blood Gulch, and even Foundation, which is based on the map Thunderdome from Marathon 2 Durandal. Go play Marathon if you haven't before, it's extremely good. Along with the return of the map itself, there are usually some upgrades and changes made to fit the new sandbox, adjustments to the art to fit a new aesthetic, and other cool differences that let you know that while the map may feel familiar, it can be a whole new beast. Today we're going to take a stroll down memory lane as I give you my top 10 maps that I would like to see remade for Halo Infinite. Be sure to like, subscribe, and go follow me on Twitch to catch sick-ass clips like this one. Spicy boy! Let's begin. Number 10. One of my favorite maps from Halo 5 Guardians, Fathom, features a ton of creative routes to follow and engagements to chase, with creative jumps that I obviously can't do anymore, and spotty spawns at best in a 1v1 match. Fathom isn't the only map from Halo 5 that I'd like to see brought into Infinite, but for my money, it's the best one that isn't a remake of an existing map. Number 9. Big Team Battle. No Halo is complete without it. Halo 5! Halo 4's Exile is the only good BTB map that game had to offer. I know that might rub some people the wrong way, but Halo 4's default Infinity Slayer variants left a lot to be desired in terms of Halo gameplay. Regardless of the specific type of Slayer variant or objective mode you played, however, Exile was always the best map to do it on in BTB. And please don't even get me started on the nightmare that Longbow is. Number 8. Halo 3 is well known for its maps, and while Narrows wasn't one I was ever particularly a fan of in my younger years, as I've gotten older and, to be fair, better at the game, I have come to love Narrows. The dual man cannons on either side make it a unique experience with plenty of wacky fun to be had. My favorite piece of trivia around Narrows, though, is that it was nearly recreated for Halo 4 as seen in this concept art from Studio Digital Extremes. Maybe it never made its way to full production back then, but I could see this map working perfectly with Halo Infinite's Halo 3 style, equipment, and sandbox. Number 7. Earlier, I mentioned that Halo 4 only had one good BTB map. Halo 2 had the exact opposite problem. Roughly 10 BTB maps that were all a ton of fun throughout its lifespan, both through release and DLC. Terminal, though, was extremely special. It featured 2 monorail trains that would blast through the map and destroy anything unfortunate enough to be in its path. Terminal was more than large enough to support multiple vehicles, and I think given what we know about Halo Infinite's sandbox, it would be a match made in Halo Heaven. Number 6. Okay, I know what you're thinking. What the fuck is Gemini? A DLC map from Halo 2, Gemini is an extremely small FFA or Team Slayer map that has infinite potential for King of the Hill and CTF given the right sandbox, and I think much like Terminal, Halo Infinite might fit the bill perfect. With no shortage of options for navigation, I think that Gemini's large atrium and narrow hallways would be perfect to bring into the modern era. Just don't be too mad at your teammates for betraying you on what may be the most chaotic map in Halo 2. Number 5. Halo Reach is far from a perfect game, but it's one that people have come to adore over the years. My favorite map from Reach has to be Powerhouse, and as a map that appeared in the beta to show off the game's maximum potential, I think it does just that. Powerhouse is built for verticality, and is a map I'd love to see the grapple shot used on. Maybe you find yourself at rocket spawn and need to get out in a pinch so you can grapple all the way up to top mid and it's time for a brand new fight. If there was ever a map that could recreate Halo's 30 seconds of fun in Infinite, it's probably going to be Powerhouse. Number 4. There are a few maps that will always live in my mind rent-free, as the kids say, and while this old-ass map of my hometown is great, so too is Guardian. A spiritual successor itself to the Halo 2 map Lockout, Guardian features some original routes that Lockout itself did not, as well as an expanded yet still relatively cramped layout. Nothing beats the rush up to OS and down to Sniper, or on the inverse, the run to Camo and then back down to Shoddy. Couple that with Halo 3's iconic man cannons, 2 in total, and you have yourself the map that Lockout wishes it could be. Much like Blood Gulch wishes it was half as good as Valhalla. A little hot take for you. Number 3. It's no surprise that number 3 on this list is Hang 'em High. I spent countless hours on this map as a kid and still do to this very day. Halo Reach tried and in my opinion failed in a similar but different way that Halo 2's Tombstone did when recreating this map, which is still giving Top Blue a little too much advantage in Slayer modes. For one-sided objectives, I think it works perfectly, but for 2-flag or Team Slayer, I think it could use some adjustments, and maybe Halo Infinite's sandbox capabilities would be just the kick in the pants this map really needs to make it as good as I've always thought it was, but knew it wasn't. Number 2. Look, I almost didn't put it on the list, but I felt like I'd be lying to you if I didn't include it here. The Pit has to be the best map to come out of Halo 3, period. Clean lines, sharp, unbusy visuals, and one of the best examples of map control out there, the Pit has earned its place in the Halo Hall of Fame. Not just once, but twice with its Pitfall remake in Halo 4. I'd personally be happy if 343 recreated either version of the map, but it only felt right to bring up the Halo 3 version of it given my propensity to dislike Halo 4's multiplayer. It's that good. It's that real good. Honorable mentions. Now, of course, before we get to our number 1 map, which I promise is not going to make any sense to you at all, I wanted to hit on just a couple of honorable mentions. In no particular order, some of the maps I would have liked to have seen in Halo Infinite for the memes are as follows. Valhalla. This is a better Blood Gulch than Blood Gulch. Sword Base. This is the 3rd dumbest map in all of Halo. Boarding Action. This is the 2nd dumbest map in all of Halo. Chiron TL34. This is the one. This is the dumbest map in Halo. Death Island. Because who doesn't love a map that's actually way too fucking big? Warlock. Much like Gemini, the CE version of Warlock is pure chaos and I absolutely love it. Our final honorable mention is Backwash. Tastes like bong water. Number 1.
They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever multiplayer map I wanted. You know me. I did my research. Watched as you became the map we needed you to be. Like the others, you were big and fun and cool. Unnatural poggers. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess? Sand.
Fuck, that hurts. Oh, my sweet, sweet baby boy. Sandtrap is a map that I imagine none of you saw coming, but here it is, sitting at my number 1 spot. Halo 3's BTB offering is maybe not as notable as Halo 2's, but man, do I love Sandtrap. This map is massive and offers an incredible out-of-bounds area that is totally usable, excluding the missiles that spout up out of the dirt like little flowers of death. With an incredibly diverse selection of both vehicles and weapons, maps like Sandtrap just stand above the rest for me in terms of what I'd like to see in Infinite. This is also my way of telling 343 that the Brute Chopper needs to come back. If the Chopper does not appear in Infinite, we riot. That's it, plain and simple. Who's with me? One of my favorite memories of Sandtrap is a game mode that my brothers and I would play called Tag. Turn the gravity down to 50%, player speed up to 300%, and jump height up to also 300%, and run around the map with energy swords, playing honor rules where one person is it, and the other two are trying to avoid being killed by the person who was it. It was a ton of fun, and I look forward to hopefully recreating this experience in Halo Infinite. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around for this ridiculous but also very specific list of what maps I'd like to see in Halo Infinite that maybe haven't been given the love and attention that they deserve. I know some maps on this list are a little bit more obscure. Gemini, I'm looking at you, but I appreciate you giving it the time of day. If you liked this video, I have a stupidly long 42-minute video where I rank every single map from every single Halo game. The link for that can be found on screen and down in the description. If you want to see more Halo content, maybe a little something different here and there also, be sure to subscribe and activate notifications and go over to twitch.tv/Pfhorbear to drop me a follow. This is going to be all for me today, but I hope to catch you guys next time. Until then, be safe and have fun.